Hey everybody, this is Grace. In this video, I want to talk about, well, to start off with, I want to talk about some trends that I've been seeing lately, or one, at least. I used to do this. Not too long ago, I had this thing about doing trends that I saw on different social media platforms about, say, narcissist, or narcissistic behaviors, along this line, or dysfunctional families. And lately, I've seen one that really, I've seen before, but it seems to be people are pushing it on this topic. And it is, I don't know if I mentioned this recently or not, but it's about when, say I were to say there's this person I know and they're rather narcissistic. The trend seems to be to say, oh, if you say that about, somebody you know, then you're a narcissist. Okay. See what I'm saying? The whole thing of turning it around. Okay, turning it around on the person. Now, some can say that, like if somebody says, well, that person is a narcissist. I think these days more and more people are calling abusers. They're replacing the word abusers with narcissists. Okay, they're not thinking in terms of diagnosing. To me, if you say, somebody's a narcissist, I'm thinking somebody diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. But if I said, if somebody, me included, says narcissistic, it's that they have behaviors that are like, would be, they have the behavior. A behavior or behaviors that are narcissistic, that are like you would see in the criterion for narcissistic personality disorder. Now, just because a person has characteristics, that doesn't make them a narcissist. That doesn't make them have the disorder. But here's another thing that I've noticed, and it kind of goes along with this one, is that more and more people, it seems like or I'm just noticing this. I don't have any statistics. I haven't done any research on it. But more and more people are using the word narcissist, and that's something I'm sure I've mentioned before. But they're using it to, it's like a cuss word to some people. If they want to, they're angry at somebody, and, they just say, you're a narcissist. They're angry at the person for anything, for any little thing. It could be little, could be big. It's, like I said, some people are using it like a cuss word. Okay, that kind of sums it up. Now, I've done videos about people, a lot of videos about people blaming the victims of stuff. Now, on social media, what I see more and more these days is if, say, somebody is popular and they have a lot of followers. Now, this can be a behavior of someone who's histrionic. Okay, it doesn't mean they have a disorder. Again, this is not a one-size-fits-all thing either. But histrionic behavior, to think of, they're easily influenced, and they think of like somebody online, or some kind of a public figure or something that's popular. They can solve their problems, and magically everything, just by speaking and listening to them, they can pick up everything they need to know to resolve everything, or to get all the money and fame and fortune they want, something like this. Now, if some people come in and say, hey, this person's a scammer, a con artist online, an e-beggar, people have watched long enough or listened long enough, like if it's somebody in the public or whatever, and they said this is a scam. What I've noticed is more of a trend is people saying that the people who are trying to warn, the people who are trying to warn people again about that scammer, that con artist, stating such, they're saying that they're twisting it around. A little bit. The people who are the followers, the ones with that could possibly have a histrionic behavior of, thinking that this one person is the scammer, is going to solve the problem. They will turn it around. They're flying monkeys. That's what some would call them, the narcissistic flying monkeys, or it doesn't have to be narcissistic. But these flying monkeys, the ones that protect them, that go out there and do dirty work for them. They keep their name, that person's name, in everybody's mouth, in their mind, in their whatever, and they will attack anybody who goes against them. Yeah, in whatever way they will attack them. They will say, it could be verbally, just not verbally just, but verbally stating, verbally abusive toward them, or it could be worse. Okay, and I mentioned before this of people saying, like if it's something online, there's more than one place you can find videos than YouTube. There's other social media platforms where you can see them. And if somebody, is one that is saying this person's a person on video is a scammer, an e-beggar, or whatever, and people attack, the people who are the flying monkeys attack, and they'll basically, and I've said this before, they basically will say, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Okay, first of all, that's not for you to say. It's not you to tell people they can or cannot watch, or they should or should not watch, but they will do it anyway, because in their mind, their logic is it's not logical. It's just attack. And I think, personally, 100, it's not 100% in any of this, but personally I think it's kind of like what some call narcissistic injury, but theirs is a flying monkey injury. They feel injured because somebody is saying, well, maybe you are wrong, that word wrong, by being so, have so much hero worship for this person, that maybe you're not looking at it right, and that's an injury to their ego. The flying monkeys, an injury to their ego to have to think for a moment that they could be wrong. Okay, so then they go in this kind of rage, and they attack anybody who has told them, just like, you hear a lot about narcissistic injury, narcissistic rage, and they'll attack. Because no, they are not wrong, and they can go into such detail of why they are right, and when you really listen to it, you say, that doesn't flow right there, okay? And I've said this before, I'll say it again, I've not found them to be the brightest bulb in the chandelier. No, not at all. These are, to me, the people who have this kind of have a lot of histrionic behaviors. That's how I see them. These are the ones who they can't come up with their own ideas, so to me, and that could be wrong, that they follow people. They become, like I said, they have hero worship for somebody. They become their flying monkeys. And these are more like, to me, I was just thinking about this morning, like when you're in school, this video is for adults, made for adults, but when you were in school, the person who would copy your paper, or during a test, they would cheat by looking over at yours. That's the type. That to me, that's the type that they are, that they were when they were young, perhaps. And they still are. They cheat, they copy, they steal, ideas, this kind of thing. Because they're just not that bright. They just they can't come up with anything except to steal. That's what they came up with. The best thing to do is to steal, to take somebody else's, and act so, like, it's just mine. And to me, one of the things they do is they develop this herd mentality. Okay, the flying monkey type. The histrionic behavior of having those heroes and heroines. Yeah. But they develop, to me, some of them develop that whole herd mentality, and they become this group or collective narcissism. Okay, develop this, that they are the right ones, they are the best ones, they are the ones who know it all, and they're basing it all on what the scammer says. They don't see it as a scammer. They see that they're just a hero. They just the best public speaker, or whatever, inspirational, whatever it is. And anybody else that doesn't think so is an idiot to them. Okay, to go back to that part about, if you don't like them, you don't have to watch them kind of mentality. The people who do watch them and then do turn around and try to warn, that's why they're doing it. That's why they're watching it. That's why they're trying to they're trying to say, hey, they're actually doing good. They really are. They're actually trying to help other people, to get out of that, to get away from that scammer, that con artist. They may feel like I call it a duty to warn, and not, in the same way that you think of counselors might do or along this line, but they've, like me, a sociologist, a duty to warn. These people are scammers. The people who do this or who do that, they are scammers. They're e-beggars. They're whatever it is, and people want to warn other people to, hey, think maybe, just maybe something will click, and they'll say, oh, okay, I don't know how I was drawn into this person. To me, if I'm drawn into somebody, really, sooner or later, I really don't get drawn in, because I don't have any idols. I've never idolized anybody. I just don't. I don't hero worship anybody, so I'm not drawn in. But some people can momentarily, I might find somebody interesting, but I don't get that drawn into them. You see what I'm saying? To where I would idolize them or hero worship them. No. But some people do. And it might be that they're in a vulnerable time in their life, and feel that need to have somebody who can, comfort them, and to say, and some people know that, and they work on that, okay? That, something is comforting, and that is kind of, like I said, for some it's a histrionic behavior of thinking somebody is going to magically heal them, okay? And some people, and I'm not blaming that victim. I'm not blaming them at all, there's somebody who actually gets drawn in like that because they need comfort. But if they turn into the flying monkey type, yeah, I'm pointing a finger. You got that. So, just someone who's drawn in. Now, I personally, when it comes to people who are histrionic, out of the 4 cluster B personality disorders, if their behaviors, I'm not saying diagnosed with histrionic personality disorder, but the people who have those behaviors of traits, characteristics along this line, it depends on what they are. I do feel like they will feel, they're so easily influenced, they fall for so much, they're too trusting, and they just boom. Some of them are not really bad. It's a continuum too, kind of thing. Some call spectrum, I call continuum. But some of them, you do feel for them, because they do have the least, I think out of all of them, they have more empathy. Okay, more empathy. How would I put it? They have more empathy. I feel they have more empathy than the others. More long term. Not long term. How am I saying? It's not just something every once in a while they'll have a little bit of empathy. It's that they have that. They have it, but it's overall short term in a situation. Well, that's making a lot of sense. But say you have somebody somebody died that you were close to, and you tell this other this person with the histrionic behavior, they will feel for you. They feel the empathy. They feel for you up to a certain point. This is what I've seen in my life. Up to a certain point, once you're getting too much attention in their minds, they stop. They'll do it to a point until this is too much, because they have to have that attention on them, or they'll make the attention on them. Okay. So, but I feel more for them that are drawn in to some of these scammers, because they're not all bad. Not all people I've seen that with histrionic behaviors are really bad people, but they can, because of that whole need for, in my view, for attention, they can become bad. So, once again, to return to that, if you don't like them, then don't watch them. And like I said, there are people who do it because they feel this duty to warn. Some of them, it's not that nice. It's not that nice of a thing. They just want to take that person down, because that, for whatever reason, that maybe they were the type with the histrionic behavior, and then they learned this person's just a scammer, just a con artist, just a hustler. When I think of hustler, I always think of somebody shooting pool. I don't know. That's maybe I don't know. But, that they want to take that person down, because they were ones who were manipulated. And some people say, oh, how can you be manipulated? Yes, they are really good at twisting things to draw people in, and yeah. So, and some people will go there. They go there to the people who are still the flying monkeys, and they will talk bad. They will turn it around on the people who are there. Say, you know, and they'll make fun of the person. Well, how were you manipulated if you're so smart? You know, and that to me, that just doesn't make sense. Here they are, they're being manipulated, and then they make fun of the people who were manipulated in the past and are rising against it and warning people. So, anyway, boy, I had that on my mind this morning, huh? I've actually taken some notes again. I do this. I give myself refresher courses in this. So I'm going to talk more about it as time goes by. And different ones. Anyway, I still have some left that I want to put up, the videos that I made, and we'll see what order I put them in. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up before I say something and not do it like I tend to do. Okay, I'll talk to y'all in another video.